My story begins almost exactly 7 years ago here in Las Vegas. I found myself on a stage in front of about 2,000 people with my self-portrait projected gigantic behind me. It was my first Photoshop World Conference and my first time on a stage and my first Photoshop Guru Award. My life hasn't been quite the same since. This event embarked me on a journey that I hadn't planned for and into a world that I knew nothing about. I had spent the 4 previous years working for myself freelancing. I didn't know any of you then, so of course none of you knew me. Really, I didn't know much about anything. I didn't have my own website or even a portfolio. I had joined Facebook by this time, but that was only to keep an eye on my teenage sons. Seriously, I was completely disconnected. My trippy self-portrait came about after I attended a one-day Photoshop seminar with Ben Wilmore in late 2009. I had no idea who Ben was then, or even what he might teach me. Honestly, I thought I was pretty good in Photoshop already. I just wanted to find out what was new in CS4 and maybe pick up some new workflow tips. But I gained so much more. This sounds ridiculous now, but at that time I didn't consider Photoshop for fine art. It was just a tool for my graphics business. Ben's seminar inspired me to create for myself, which was a game changer for me. These are just a few images I created in this time. The desire to create for myself inspired me to find others like me, both in my local community and online. Chuck Ubeli and I first met in a user forum sometime shortly after I won that first Guru. 2 years later, we got to meet in person when we sat together in the front row at the Photoshop World 2012 keynote. We cheered for each other as we both won awards. This is my second Guru Award image. In the 7 years since the start of this story, I've gone from an absolute nobody to an ACP, a user group manager, workshop presenter, photography judge, Max TA, college instructor, published columnist, and a conference speaker. I also now show my art in galleries around San Diego. Now, this is the difficult part of my story. I really struggled with how I would tell it. Immediately, I regretted signing up for this. Because the truth is that I know how incredibly fortunate I am, but sometimes I feel unworthy. What do I know? What do I have to offer? I struggle with these thoughts. I'm taking a gamble here sharing this with you. We are in Vegas after all. Maybe I'm not alone with this struggle. 63 ACPs and UGMs are attending Max this year, and only 14 of us volunteered to present our 5-minute story. And for me, it's not fear of public speaking, it's the fear of looking foolish. All of the things that we do as community leaders exposes that vulnerability. Wouldn't it be so much easier to just punch a clock and sit in a cubicle every day, do what I am told, keep my thoughts to myself with zero possibility of looking foolish? Sometimes I actually think so. Then I remind myself of who I was then versus who I am today. The rewards of putting myself out there have been tremendous. Teaching is the most rewarding thing I've done, aside of course from being a mom. I've gotten to travel to places I never dreamt I'd get to. And today I have a global community of supportive and inspiring friends, all of you, who make me smarter every day. We are all here because we have something to share. So this is the moral of my story. Put aside fear and doubt and keep saying yes to new opportunities, especially the intimidating ones like presenting here today. And then remember to enjoy the journey wherever it goes.